Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Paul, aka Powerhouse 21, and I promised you guys a mic comparison. So here it is: the Rode NT-1 versus the Nady SCM-800 large diaphragm condenser microphone challenge here on the Powerhouse vlog. So right now you're listening to me on the Rode NT-1. This one is the black-bodied NT-1. It's not to be confused with the NT-1A, which is the NT-1 Anniversary Edition that came in a silver body. In some photos, it kind of looks like a silvery gold, but I've seen it. It looks silver to me. So the difference between the two, from what I've heard and from what I've read, when I've listened to other samples on YouTube in as high of quality as YouTube can give, of course, I found that the NT-1A has a brighter high end, and the NT-1 that was actually made after the Anniversary Edition has a warmer low end. That's just me. That's what I hear, and that's what I hear with my voice. So I really like the NT-1 just for that. You can get the NT-1 a couple different ways. You can get it as a mic-only option, so you can just buy the microphone, and that one's going to run you right around $249 on Amazon brand new. And I'll have links to all of this in the bottom. The other thing that you're going to have, or that you would need at that point, is a shock mount, and you could get the Rode SMR shock mount, which is this guy right here, and it comes with the pop filter. It's a 2-layer metal pop filter. Catches all those plosives and those puffs of air that go into the microphone and ruin anything that you're recording. But that'll come with that, and then you also need some sort of protection. Here it is. For it when it's on here. You don't want dust or anything getting in there. People have them mounted all over the place, so who knows what could get spilled on them. But it does come with a Rode sock that just kind of fits over the top. I don't know what this sounds like right now, but just kind of fits over the top of that. And yeah, so that's those are the parts of what you can get in the kit. So the kit is $269. So for $20, you're getting the shock mount, which is normally $79 from Amazon and Rode. So you're looking at a pretty good savings there if that's what you wanted to do. I got mine for a considerable less amount on eBay. So I'm really happy that I got a deal on this, but honestly, it's definitely worth the $269. So I wouldn't say not to get this if this was in a list of your top ones that you wanted to get. I would say get this first. I don't know if it's considered prosumer, consumer, budget, because I'm not really sure where those levels sit. A $20 microphone and a $50 microphone are going to be budget, and a $100 microphone might still be budget, which I actually think it is. When you're getting up into the 250s and stuff like that, I don't know where those levels are. So, but what I've noticed is just how natural my voice sounds. I think that this is a pretty good representation. Right now, I don't have any effects at all going through this. If anything, I just boosted it a little bit so it's easier to hear me on the video. But I've tried not to do anything else to the audio at all, just to make sure that this was as clean as possible and a great representation of what this microphone can do. It is going through a Focusrite 2i4 audio interface. It is the 2nd gen, so it does have better and reduced latency. There's a couple other things that I really like about it. On the 2nd gen, they have the, and this doesn't sound like a huge thing, but the knobs on the first gen only had the little indentations where the volume or the levels for your gain and everything were, and you couldn't really see them. So on the second gen, they actually put red little paint lines where your level is, and then a black one on the volume. So now you can actually tell where those are at a quick glance. Before on the first gen, I did notice that you would have to kind of look at it a little bit longer than I think you should have to have. And I just didn't like that one, about that one. And that's also something that if somebody is trying to buy one, look for that. If the volume, silver volume knob has a black line on it, that's obviously there for manufacturing, not drawn on, because I could definitely see why you would want to draw one on the other one. But this one, obviously, nice and clean line and stuff like that. And then the red lines on the gain, that'll be an indicator that it's the second gen. Also, the Focusrite label on the top of it is white, and it's not black. The first gens were black lettering, and the second gen is white lettering. I suggest the second gen just because of the decreased latency, as well as those little perks of just those lines. It doesn't sound like a lot. It is. I don't really know why. You'd have to see it for yourself, I guess. But anyway, so that's what's going on right now. There isn't any extra anything that I'm putting on this other than, like I said, a little bit of boost. So here is the contender for the NT-1. Swing it on in. And then I'm going to move this over. All right. So this is the Nady SCM-800. This one runs for about $49, and to be exact, today when I checked it, it's $49.76. So there is a considerable difference here as to the amount of money that you would spend on each of these. And what's really funny, let me move this a little bit. What's really funny is I still like the sound of the Nady as much as my Rode. And now that I get right in the center here, I'm going to turn this just a little bit more. When I listen to both of these side by side, I'm excited to hear what it sounds like. I've only done a couple side by sides like this, and that was quick just to find out what kind of levels this particular microphone needed, and that was it. That was the only thing that I've done. So I've never done a shootout like this before. So, like I said, this one is the Nady SCM-800, runs for about $49 on Amazon, and right now I'm using a Sterling Audio PF2 pop filter. It's going to be nylon, still 2-layer though, and that's to make sure that if the first puff of air isn't caught in that first piece of nylon, I'm hitting everything, it'll hopefully get caught in the second. So pop, 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 pop. There shouldn't be a whole lot of extra stuff going through that to the microphone, which is really nice. This one I also do sometimes use with the foam windscreen, and that actually works really, really well. I actually used it with Das Llamas and Arkin 3D. We did side-by-sides, and you guys may have seen my Twitch channel. There should be a side-by-side with Das Llamas, and we were playing Castle Crashers. And then there was a narration of how a game of World of Warships went with Arkin 3D. So you've probably, if you've seen those, you've probably heard both of these microphones side by side, but you're also hearing them with two different voices. So what I wanted to do, and while I'm doing this, as you notice, I'm switching between the two microphones just so there isn't, I'm not trying to change my voice depending on which one I'm talking into. I'm trying to keep it as natural as possible. And I think I'm going to get a little bit closer to the microphones here. Hold on. There we go. Now I'm kind of hiding behind them, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting enough sound right toward them, and just kind of give them an even chance, because I don't really want to have a bias between this microphone and this microphone. And if you're wondering which one it is at any given time, close your eyes and I'll just keep switching it back and forth, and you can see if you hear a difference. If you do, that's great. Which one do you like? It doesn't have to be the $250 microphone. It can absolutely be the $50 microphone. And that's the really cool thing about these shootouts. You won't know what they sound like unless you do a switch off like this. See? There's so many things that you can do, or just me sitting here having a conversation with myself. I can keep it as natural as I need to, and you can hear the difference. One thing I do want to do at some point is take all of my gear and put it back into the signal chain that I normally have it in. So normally I have the Rode NT-1 in front of my face, normally with the windscreen, not the pop filter. It goes into a Behringer Ultra Pro MIC 2200, and that's a tube preamp. It's a 2-channel tube preamp. So normally when I do a side-by-side Twitch stream or something like that, and I use both of these microphones, I'll have them both going through the tube preamp because it is 2-channel, and then that goes into an effects processor, Behringer MDX 2200, I believe, and that does the noise gate, expander, compressor, and that's actually pretty much it. I don't have the limiter turned on that one or anything like that, but it just gives me a little bit of compression that I like. Not too much though, because the next item in the chain goes the Focusrite, and that's sitting at 0 gain, so I'm not using the pre's in that one at all. The 48 volt phantom power, which both of these do need to run, I leave that off on the Focusrite because the tube preamp will take care of that part. Then that goes into my computer. I run VST host, which is so VSTs are plugins for audio. I'm not sure if they're ever used for anything else, but if they are, my apologies. But VSTs are plugins that you normally would use with a Logic Pro X and Reaper and Audacity and Audition, and there's of course 100 others that I could name, but you put those in as plugins and then you can have them affect your voice somehow. So the end of the chain before it goes into the program that I'm either recording to, streaming for, if it's CSGO, then of course it goes into the mic inputs in that program, because of course you can do TeamSpeak. You can also use it with Discord. And once you run the VST host, you can use something called Nectar. It's a company called Isotope, and Nectar is absolutely phenomenal because it has a wonderful EQ built into it that you can change to all sorts of different things. And you can add reverb, you can add echo, you can add all sorts of different stuff, but you can add a de-esser, which is great. You can add another gate. So basically you're gating off some with the Behringer MDX, that's probably wrong, MDX 2200, and then you're getting another chance at gating anything else that has slipped through after you've EQ'd it and everything like that. And at that point, everything is really, really clean. So what you'd hear is no background, like you're probably hearing in here right now, because of course there's there's no effect on this. But other than that, that's my signal chain, which I've tried to adjust ever so slightly here and there just to see if I do notice a difference. And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But it's been working for me so far, and I really like the outcome. And it's all personal preference anyway. So what I use is not something that you guys have to use or anybody has to use. The way I put everything together is not the way that other people would, and I'm okay with that. Just gives me my sound, which is exactly what I want to be doing here. So far, what you've heard is raw audio of both microphones separately, and I've been switching them back and forth. So next, I'm going to transfer over to my streaming PC, and what you're going to hear is the whole signal chain all at one time. So hold on one second. We'll be right there. All right, so we are now in the studio, and what I'm going to do is go back and forth, and I'm not going to tell you which one it is right away. I'm just going to put like microphone A and microphone B, and microphone A could be either one of them. I'm not really sure yet, but I also wanted to make sure that I had a fair advantage for both of them, so I made sure that I was using the same pop filter. It's relatively the same distance away. I am going through the Behringer tube preamp as well as the compressor gate thing. And then in a little bit, I'll go ahead and add the Nectar plugin as well on top of that. So you'll be able to hear just the regular, possibly just volume boosted for everybody's hearing. So you don't have to crank up your headphones or something like that, and then I blast you out a little bit later. I definitely don't want to do that. But all the settings are the exact same on each channel. There is no difference in gain there. Everything will be done in post. So everything is good right there. I know everything is even, everything going into these, everything coming out of them. That's all. I'm trying to be as even as possible. I don't want to give one a fair advantage, and I don't want to baby one as well. I'm using the same PF2 nylon pop filter just to make sure that it's the same. I didn't want to use my metal one on the NT-1 to give it a disadvantage of any sort. And then I wanted to make sure that I had everything angled correctly as well. They're both basically, I might fix this one here. There we go. That shouldn't really have mattered at all, but I just want to try to be in the same orientation-ish. But yeah, I don't suspect that there's going to be a whole lot of difference. If anything, the Nady may be a little bit brighter just because, and actually, you know what? I take that back. I wonder if the Nady is going to be a little, I don't want to say warmer, but how about, not muffled either. I don't want to say that it's going to be muffled either. Maybe I should do it this way. I think the Rode is going to be a little bit brighter and a bit cleaner in the mid-range, and not as muddy on the low end. That's what I'll go with. So I think, and I'll tell you guys which one is which here in a second. I'll actually put that on the screen to let you know. And yeah, I really hope I hear a good difference. I have not heard any of this yet, so if you have any questions about how I did this, like I just had a conversation with myself just to make sure that I wasn't using more force toward one microphone or the other. I just try to keep it as at the same level. My voice is probably a little bit lower than normal at the moment. After a day of talking and all of that, my voice seems to go down just a little bit. It might be a little bit lower than it would be on my Twitch stream. I may, midday, you're probably talking a little bit differently. So these microphones could sound completely different midday versus right now for me. But, I stream at any point of the day sometimes. It might be late at night, so I might sound like this. So I definitely want to know what I'd sound like in this situation as well. So this is a good test for me too. But I hope you enjoyed all this, and subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and I will do more of this stuff. This is really, really fun for me. I do have a couple more recipes coming out soon as well, so go ahead and check those out. Hit the little bell for the notification, and you'll get the pop-up or whatever you get on your phone or wherever about either the recipes or the new vlog or something like that. So go ahead and get that all taken care of, and check me out in the next video, which should be out very, very soon. Thank you for watching.